I am Perpetual Fasten Repeater. Let's get it started. Operatives of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, on Wednesday arrested the former managing director of the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, Ekere, for alleged diversion of funds to the tune of 47 billion naira through registered contractors of the agency. This is according to the Commission spokesperson, Wilson Uwojarin. Nsema 56 was the agency's managing director between 2016 and 2018. Similarly, the federal government has suspended Accountant General of the Federation, Ahmed Idris. His suspension is without pay. Right now, we'll take the reactions from Nigerians. The first one right here is from Oluomo of Debi. Oluomo of Debi says, Nigeria's Accountant General Ahmed Idris was arrested by EFCC over 80 billion naira fraud just 2 days ago. Today, Nsema Ekere is arrested by the EFCC over 47 billion naira fraud. If Nigerians do not kill corruption, corruption will kill Nigerians. And the second person here is at Francis Adeboye. At Francis Adeboye says, first, Hadiza Bala Usman was alleged to have committed a 165 billion naira fraud. Then Ahmed Idris was arrested for 80 billion naira fraud. Now Nsema Ekere for 47 billion naira loot. Two very interesting correlations about these fraud allegations. Number one, they were all appointed by Buhari, and number two, they are all members of APC. And finally, we have this particular one from David Ofo. David Ofo says, with the amount of allocation NDDC has received since creation, no oil-producing community ought to be below average in terms of development. But corruption will not allow money to be judiciously used. Nsema Ekere, case of 47 billion naira corruption case, might die the same way Bram Baifa own did. But those are the reactions we have on social media. Let's have your reaction.
You know how they say that this NDDC case is a very typical scenario of that adage of,
true,
you know, that Yoruba saying. These people have been suffering, talking about being marginalized and all of that. But now a probe comes up, says they're looking at ways to look at the root of the whole underdevelopment in the region. And then you find out that those who are sitting at the top of their whole, you know, affairs
who are supposed to ensure judicious
are
use,
the ones even causing all of the deterioration and everything they're seeing, the marginalization and everything that they're experiencing in the region. Look at the case of the probe that ended with Senator off your mic and all of that, the fainting and
that fainting, you know, very hilarious.
And now you're seeing another, but in all of it, I'm seeing that the EFCC is looking like the EFCC is on an overdrive. But I'm expecting more from them, especially when it comes to these people who are purchasing the forms, the nomination form from the APC. I'm expecting more from them. Let them not just shift their attention to the NDDC, the Auditor General's case is really alarming.
Accountant General,
rather.
The cat was told to watch over the fish.
So he decided to feast.
Well, allegedly. So he decided to feast.
So it's an allegation.
Until proven guilty, the man is innocent. That's what the law of the land says.
Absolutely.
So allegedly, let's use that
word.
Let's have your thoughts.
Take quickly. It's quite unfortunate what's happening, and it's not just restricted to the leaders of that region alone. When you take the issue of the honorable off your mic, and I'm quite surprised again that, I mean, Godswill Akpabio stayed on as minister for that long,
and is now even vying to be president.
The president didn't even address that issue. That was the height of corruption under this administration that should have been dealt with, you know, with a heavy hand. Now, when Akpabio was giving the testimony, I mean, it was witnessed live, you know, and all, he began to mention names. He said it wasn't just about, you know, he or the body, you know, the NDDC and all of that. That there were those from the law, you know, in the chambers, both chambers, who benefited from it.
And that was what led to the off your mic.
That was what led to the off your mic. There was a list that was even out in the public and all of that. Nothing was done, you know, about that case. Now, my issue is this. It's good that, yes, this is coming out. We've had, as you mentioned, a whole professor fainting that way. I mean, those who won Oscars, they've not even acted that
much.
You know, so it is just ridiculous. It speaks ill or makes a mockery of the fight against corruption.
Absolutely.
Two, it just shows you that the issues that we have in terms of corruption, or especially the Niger Delta, is not limited to their leaders alone. It's stretched, the tentacles have stretched around, to other people. The lawmakers who are benefiting from it, those who, are getting contracts of the NDDC under proxies and all of that, it is a real mess. It is more like a cabal.
It's an organized crime.
It has to be addressed, really.
Absolutely.
It is really organized.
Yes.
Really.
All right, to move on to the second story. I really wish you had enough time to talk about this, but it's fine. Residents of Dede, suburb of Abuja, Nigeria's capital in north-central Nigeria, have been thrown into panic following clashes in the building material market on Wednesday, May 18 afternoon. It is not immediately clear what caused the clashes, but videos from the market available on social media show many people running for safety while a large ball of smoke billows. Multiple sources said the crisis started after a woman fell from a commercial motorbike and was crushed by a trailer. This, they said, led to the burning of the motorbike and thereafter degenerated into a crisis where members of the commercial bike riders were attacking shops. Some eyewitness accounts said there were gunshots. Shop owners were forced to close their shops to avoid being attacked. But we have a video which I will watch shortly.
They go to warehouse, somebody. They go to plywood. They go to work to close to 1 billion naira. They go do hundreds of millions. Somebody na boko. They go do hundreds of millions. Somebody na boko. Carry your money, man, and that was out of that. Carry your money, man, and that was out of that. Because no, they go to help the money. They go to be.
There you have the video. Now let's take reactions on social media. We have this first reaction from at FS_Yusuf_ saying, the crisis at Dede Abuja is highly condemnable. I'm very heartbroken, condemnable. I am very heartbroken seeing men crying over the destruction of their furniture and building materials worth millions of naira. The continuous attack to the Igbo people's businesses during crisis should better be addressed now. And then we have at a fine chick responding to that saying, that has nothing to do with ethnicity. It was alleged the traders burnt down Okada because of an accident that took the life of a lady. The riders in retaliation attacked the traders and burnt their shops. Anybody from any tribe could have been a trader in that market. And then we have at General_Somto saying, once again, the DSS, police and army did nothing to stop the attack on Igbo businesses in Dede International Market, Abuja, because the perpetrators were House of Fulani. The attack lasted for several hours while a number of Igbo-owned businesses, properties, cars were destroyed. These are the reactions we have on social media.
Anyoma Fine Chick, the second, commentator, so to speak.
Okay.
I think I need to follow her. That was, on point. Again, we need to stop, addressing issues along religious or ethnic lines. That's not to say on one or two occasions it doesn't have those colorations. As she said,
promote it.
What caused, the dispute? A lady sustained an injury from, a motorcycle and unfortunately got crushed by a trailer coming. As a result of that, there was, she died. Now, there was that, anger from probably the motorcyclist drove recklessly or whatever it is, and people took laws into their hands, which is extremely condemnable. The fact that there was a reprisal attack didn't mean there was a particular ethnicity that was targeted. They simply burnt down the shops of those who perpetrated the evil against one of theirs by burning his motorcycle.
Because I was going to ask,
you
how do we ascertain that they were all Igbo
Igbos.
shops or only Igbo shops?
Well, to a very large extent, that particular market, it has majority dominated by Igbo.
That's not an issue. Again, as I said, what caused the reprisal attack?
That's what we should
a woman
address.
was killed and someone from that market allegedly burnt the motorcycle in anger, and the other motorcyclists decided to have a vengeance. Again, it's not necessarily about, ethnicity. It could have been a fellow Hausa or Yoruba or whatever there.
Okay, you know what I want? Something I feel we really need to address. The fact that when an accident happens, we don't need to take law into our hands.
Exactly.
And that's one of the reasons why when an accident happens, they run away, they become runaway, hit and run and all of that, because they are afraid that something is going to happen to them.
Well, one of the major focus or one major issues I think we are missing here is the fact that because it is an Igbo-dominated market, that's why you can come out to say, well, the shops that were affected were Igbo shops. But if it happened in a place like maybe Sabo or wherever, somewhere maybe dominated by Hausas or Yorubas, of course, the targets would have looked as if the targets were Yoruba people or Hausa people. So the ethnic coloration is really not necessary. Because this happened in an Igbo-dominated market, and that was why it looks like the Igbos were targeted. So, but because we're in a volatile community where there's so much, bigotry, a lot of people are already, tensed, and there's so much heated argument when it comes to ethnic lines, religious lines, and that's why we have it this way. And so we need to begin to go back to the roots. In those days, it wasn't really important what tribe you were from. It wasn't important what religion you were, observing. It was just more about you being a Nigerian and having something to offer. So I think we really need to go back to those days.
Yeah, I think that's really apt. And just, to cap that up, a life was lost, which was quite unfortunate. Businesses were looted and burnt down.
And there are also reports that lives were lost even in the Inferno also.
Businesses were lost, lives were lost, which is quite unfortunate. These are the issues we should address.
Why people
justice. Take, you understand, laws into their hands. Let's not add ethnic colorations to it.
Yes, we need to be more conscious of that. But let's wrap it up with a quote of the day, and that is by APJ Abdul Kalam. It says, thinking should become your capital asset, no matter whatever ups and downs you come across in your life.
You guys did think. Says guys did. That's the best way to put
it. Oh, deep. I mean, you really should be thinking. Yeah, sure.
Put on your thinking cap. Hat or whatever it is.
Be critical, be analytical, it helps.
Be creative.
Because most times things do not appear as they seem.
Exactly.
Not all that glitters is gold. So when you look at an issue, try to sit back, analyze, and see where would this lead me to before you jump at it. Because really, for every action, there's a consequential reaction.
Okay.
So on that note, we'll wrap it up. Thank you so much for being a part of iBrand Daybreak today. My name is Omobolanle Adeshi. I'll see you next time. Have a fantastic day. And I am Perpetua Fasome Peter. Do enjoy the rest of the day. Bye for now.
I'm Samson Olede. Till the show comes your way tomorrow, do have a great day.